So one of the big hopes of the Brexiteers was that Donald Trump was going to come through for them and deliver this amazing deal. However, given recent developments, things haven't been, shall we say, quite what they hoped for, which is pretty much how you sum up all these Brexiteers. And they are being, shall we say, remarkably quiet about this whole thing. So, one of the most curious assertions of the assertions of the Brexiteers was that America, and more specifically Donald Trump, had Britain's back. That despite widely diverging priorities and interests, Uncle Sam would put them aside to forge a bright new post-Brexit special relationship. Trump's America cared about the old motherland. Nigel Farage, and then President-elect's choice to be the UK's ambassador to Washington, for a few brief seconds, the thought entered his head, said, Trump likes our country and understands our post-Brexit values. He was offering our country a gift of a trade deal done and dusted in 90 days, he said in January 2017. The same month, Boris Johnson voiced very much the same view, saying that the UK and the US were both great campaigners for free trade. We hear that we are first in line to do a great free trade deal with the United States, he said. So it's going to be a very exciting year for both our countries. The Brexit process has stood foursquare behind. A typical Daily Express splash last July hailed Trump trade joy for Britain, with the paper breathlessly reporting that a vague promise on a deal with the form of a tweet naturally was a clear signal that we are storming ahead of Europe in the race to sign a trade deal with America. And even the nominally sane Times declared that Trump loved Britain, on a basis of a throwaway comment about his mother watching the Queen on television. So anytime the Queen was on television, an event, my mother would be watching. Crazy, right? So, what did they think America First meant? Or his vow to fight on behalf of Americans against as what he sees as unfair foreign competition. His promise to slap a big border tax on businesses that shift jobs overseas. His general call to tear up deals, step back from global institutions and champion US workers, US industries and workers. For a man who presents himself as a deal maker, Trump has remarkably a zero-sum view of international trade. You buy from me, I'm a winner. You sell to me, I'm a loser. What was it in all his previous conduct that they saw a president prepared to deal in pure altruism with where Britain was concerned? So now reality is dawning that an embattled Trump moves beyond rhetoric where trade is concerned, and the Brexiteers who hailed him as the Great White Knight are being remarkably quiet. Where is Boris Johnson, the great campaigner for free trade, on Trump's imposition of a tariff of 25% on American imports of steel and 10% on aluminium? What does Liam Fox, the cabinet's most ardent Atlantist, think of the breakdown of trade agreements and limits on international finance that would inevitably follow the retaliatory tariffs on partners and allies? Trump tweeted that trade wars are good and easy to win. They are not, and it is sadly superfluous to inquire as to whether a notoriously poorly read Mr. Trump is aware of the 1930 Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, America's last assault on free trade, and its subsequently devastating effect on the global economy. Downing Street said that during Theresa May's call to Trump on Sunday, she raised our deeply concern at the president's forthcoming announcement on steel and aluminium tariffs. Nothing that multilateral action was the only way to resolve the problem on global overcapacity in all parties' interests. Although even this brief statement is probably about 25 words too long for the President's notably short attention span. But from the Brexiteers who swaggeringly assured us that in the face of unambiguous evidence that Trump was about to embrace Britain and march hand in hand into a post-Brexit world of free trade prosperity, nothing, nor the papers who obediently reported it as gospel, have said a thing. Putting so much faith in a man because his mum liked seeing the Queen on TV. Crazy, right? America first means America first. And yet another bubble has been popped for the Brexiteers.